3, 4, 5 courses with all the flashing kit around here to detach and reset those. All right, so first off, seal. All right, so again, I'm using a very thin beveled blade scraper. There's nothing thinner you can get under a shingle to try to break the seal. It is already starting to break through. We've got a hole right there. You can see it's getting between the shingle and the adhesive. Notice I can't even get this under the adhesive, but I will continue to attempt. Let me try to go from the other side. Maybe it's better this way. All consideration and care is being taken while trying this. Pressure must be applied to break that seal. All right, what do we have here? All right, I was able to get through a little bit. Right there, we've pulled out some fiberglass. Now this shingle's not as important, right? Because this is the one technically that, well, no, it is important, right? Because we're not replacing this shingle, we're just replacing the flashing right here. But look at the damage that has been incurred to this shingle. There's a hole right there, which again, I stopped at that point, tried to come from the other side, which I was able to come from the other side, but you can still see there's fiberglass inside the sealant there from the shingle above. So this is all fiberglass right here. It's coming from the shingle above right there. That's just one of the tabs. We have to keep going. I'm not gonna go from that side. You know, we haven't even started to remove nails yet. Try to manipulate this shingle in the best, most careful possible way. All right, and again, we have a very thin portion of this shingle left because all of this material is being ripped out of the shingle above. Now again, this was not in this condition prior to attempting this repair. This repair is what needs to happen when replacing the step flashing kit for this skylight. If you notice, each step goes along the shingles. So we have to do this all the way around. So we're talking about every single shingle as far out as it goes, all the way around this. Now let's try to get some nails out. Let me get the pry bar. There we go. Actually, no, I can't even do that. We're only at 2 shingles right now. That one came off relatively easy because of the flashing. All right, and again, the next one. We've got fiberglass and the matting has been ripped out from underneath right here. It's damaged. Damaged prior to the repair taking place, which is what is needing to happen, this exact method to replace this step flashing kit. And again, we have a thinned out piece of the shingle right here, right underneath all the fiberglass. See, these pieces have been torn. We cannot leave a shingle in this condition. This is unacceptable. Notice it doesn't lay flat back down either. These shingles are so thin. But let's continue on, since it's been stated that this is in a repairable condition with time and care. Okay, now we have a hole right here. Again, I'm not putting any more pressure on this than what I need to. There is, again, fiberglass getting pulled out from the shingle above. It is thin right here. It is like paper thin along this line. We're happy to have a State Farm representative come out here and we can show this to them in person so they can feel what's happening. Whatever needs to happen. If this was repairable, we would repair it. We would replace the step flashing kits. We can't do it. Before I start destroying all these other shingles because it's not repairable, let's just move on to trying to remove some nails and see what that does to this. All right, now there's nothing else I can use besides a pry bar to get this nail out. So let's be clear on that. You can see the nail right here. All right, that's what I'm going for. Going from an angle. I basically tore through that shingle. Now there's a bigger hole. We cannot reuse that hole. We have to put it next to it with a hole, and that would have to be tarred up. But again, that's not the condition it was in prior to having to put this. All right. So let me take out this other one. Oh, and it just ripped right through. It ripped right through. You can see the nail's still where it's at. It still has all the fiberglass underneath it. All right, so taking those two nails out. Now again, I'm just going so far as to show the good faith in us trying to attempt this repair. If this was repairable, we would repair it. We can't do repairs that leave shingles in a worse condition than prior to what they were at. I'm not gonna break these seals on these shingles to pull out the exact full shingle how it is, but grab the hammer. We're gonna put these nails back in. All right, try to bend this up as least amount as possible. Let's show where the nail was before, right? So I'm gonna be putting the nail right to the side of that, and I need to create a perpendicular strike because this has to go perpendicular into the decking. To do that, I have to lift this shingle out of the way. All right. Next right here, we have this one. Again, we're gonna go next to the hole, not to the existing hole, because that will not hold. And that wasn't exactly as perpendicular because I'm trying not to bend this shingle as much as possible. Again, we have the damage that comes from these shingles just to break the seal. That is the one major concern. We do have some creasing going on up here. Blow away some of that chalk. We can see we have some granular loss over here. Right down there we have granular loss. Some granular loss over on this side right here where it's kind of happening. It's not the biggest giant crease in the world. Again, I didn't pull it up as much. So I'm trying not to bend it as much as possible. But our biggest concern and our biggest issue is these shingles now have a thin channel in between here. They are no longer gonna last as long as they were. The life on these shingles has been shortened dramatically. Not to mention, we've got a hole right there. We've got a hole right here. We use the thinnest possible tool to try to break the seal with a nice beveled edge that when laid flat, right? This is showing what this does when I go under there. It's going in between the surfaces, right? That's unacceptable. This is a fail.